Good morning and welcome to Caretaker's Corner, where we discuss everything that has to do with taking care of your elderly disabled parents, disabled spouses, and our adult disabled children. My name is CJ and I am your guide on this journey. And today we're going to discuss scams. It sounds like something that you wouldn't have to worry about, but last week's video was about the 1 year anniversary after my dad's passing. And while we were going through his digital footprints and also his physical footprints at the house, we discovered he was being scammed. And it just blew my mind how many different ways and how bad these people were. And I mean, I'm just going to hop right into it. This may end up being multiple videos. I'm not sure yet, because it's just, there are so many scams out there. And we have to be careful as caretakers, because like in the case of our parents, they're of sound mind. My dad was a very intelligent individual. He was just lonely. And we have Barb's sister, her oldest sister, was scammed at one point, and it was just a classic one that you've heard of often, where, you know, hey, I'm trapped in another country, can you send me some money to help me get home? And she fell for that and sent a lot of money. And not only did she do that, but then they got a hold of other information, and I mean, all sorts of weird stuff started happening to her accounts and everything. So you can be very vigilant about this. And it's hard because, like I said, my dad was highly intelligent. He took care of his own finances. And I didn't know how to broach the subject with him when I thought it was happening. And after his passing, we absolutely were able to prove it happened. And he probably gave away several, I would say tens of thousands of dollars. And in his case, I mean, on this episode, I'm just going to kind of do a broad scan of some that I know of. And then I think I'll do a couple more episodes referencing some more scams that I found during research. And let me tell you, this is a rabbit hole that is so deep. I personally feel if people that scam people spend as much time at a legitimate job as they do at breaking the law, they could kill it in business and in anything they put their mind to. That would be legal. But here's a simple fact. Elderly and disabled people are scammed every day. They are scammed out of millions of dollars, okay? Whether it's a simple scam of, you hear it all the time whenever there's a natural disaster, hey, pay me up front, you know, give me a deposit to do all this work on your house to get it back up, and then the people take the money and run. We hear about this every time there is a disaster. In this case with my dad, he was recently divorced, living on his own. He was very lonely, and I assume that his digital footprint was reflecting that. And a lot of people, he seemed to think they were women, and they might have been. I'm just saying, you do not know who's on the other end of these conversations. Started talking to him and making him feel better, and said, yeah, I'll be your girlfriend, and yeah, you send me this money and I can get everything set up to come out and hang with you. And he did it. He was buying Visa cards, prepaid Visa cards at Walmart, and then giving them the information on the back of the Visa card, and they were using the Visa card. And we found a lot of Visa cards around his house after he passed away, and most of them were completely empty. I think we found maybe a handful that had like $10 on them or something. So yeah, and also on his computer and his cell phone, he continued to get messages after his passing where these individuals were upset that he wasn't sending them money anymore. And I actually replied to one. I said, look, I hate to inform you this, but he passed away. And their response was, oh, well, would you like to talk? I was like, no, I wouldn't. Goodbye. So we wiped all of his accounts. We wiped all of his, anything that was his digital footprint. We did as much wiping out of it as possible. And that's just one scam. There are so many more out there. And at the time, my thought was, okay, he's a lonely old guy. I did not realize it was that much money. All right. And it was a lot of money. I know of a situation, there's a big scam going on AARP site. If you go on there, they list a lot of the scams that are going around. And I know one in particular where they reference it as being superstars or movie stars contacting you. And I know one case of a person that I do know who was disabled, physically disabled though, and she fell for a thing where it was Matthew McConaughey. And she swore that Matthew McConaughey was coming to get her and take her to live with him and marry her. And she sent all the money to that address. She quit paying her bills. She got evicted from her house. And she literally sat on a street corner until they moved her because she said he was coming to take her away. Like I said, in the case of my sister-in-law, she sent a lot of money that she could not afford to this person who claimed to be stuck in, I don't remember what foreign country, but it was like a Middle Eastern country. And when that happened, not only could she not afford to send that money, but they also got a lot of her private information, like I said earlier, and she started receiving weird phone calls about trying to buy the property that she lived on. And I mean, she owned the property, but she wasn't trying to sell it. And so it's one of those things that when the person that you're taking care of has free will and is perfectly capable of their own faculties, it is really hard to protect them from scams, because they, number one, like with my dad, he tried to hide it as much as possible. I mean, he'd tell me he had a girlfriend online. I didn't know for the longest time that he was sending these people money. I did not even realize it till he said that one of them was coming to visit. He would send her the money for a plane ticket for her to come. And so you can be very diligent, but you can only do so much. But I am going to tell you, even if your family member is of sound mind, keep a close eye, because before you know it, they could wipe out their entire savings account and their entire retirement. Now, luckily with my dad, he and I had to talk about it. I'm like, you're a sound mind. I can't stop you from doing this. But I will let you know, you have to be able to pay your bills for the house you're living in, take care of your food, and take care of all of your necessities. And I can't control what you do with your money outside of that, but you do have to make sure that your needs are taken care of first. And that was pretty much our agreement. Like I said, had I realized it was tens of thousands of dollars, then I might have been a bit more forceful, or maybe tried to get a lawyer involved in order to help him. But I did not realize that. And as a matter of fact, even after he passed away, we found text messages where somebody had ghosted him. And I mean, he was like, I told you I was going to give you half of my life insurance policy and all this. Well, now you just blew all this money. And I'm sitting there going, okay, well, that was just out of nowhere and out of the blue for me. He was going to give them the life insurance policy, which is what buried him and paid all of his bills. So I just think that even as diligent as we could try to be, there are so many scams out there. You can't possibly keep up with them. I've just given you 3 instances, I think. It was Dad, Barb's sister, and then like the natural disasters. Those are just 3 I've encountered off the top since I've been doing stuff, paying attention to it. And the four, because it was the actor slash important slash well-known person contacting you. I will give you a hint. If any star you know or have seen on TV contacts you saying they need your money, it's a scam. I don't know how else to tell you this. I don't know how else to tell our loved ones this, but Matthew McConaughey does not need your $600 a month. He's not getting it. Somebody else is. And it's like I told my dad with his. You don't even know if that is a female on the other end. All right? I know for a fact that, like, I don't watch, like, Dr. Phil or anything, but I was in a hospital waiting room one time, and he was on TV, and that was legitimately the episode he was doing. Every time I'm in a hospital, for some reason, he is on the TV when I'm in a waiting room, and every one of the episodes I've watched is on some form of a scam that people were taken by, and that they swore was true, and they spent every dime they had, they sold their house, they sold their furniture, they did everything. These are legitimate issues, especially in the elderly and disabled, lonely people. I hate to put it out there, but it's hard to stay on top of this because there are so many. I mean, I haven't even gotten into the other 4 on this top 5 list for 2025 from AARP. Like I said, I think I'll end up doing multiple videos because there's just no way to stay diligent. I mean, I'm not saying there's no way to stay diligent. We have to stay diligent on this because we're talking about our loved ones' financial future. And when you're talking about elderly, most of the people that are probably watching this video, your parents are on a income. All right, they're on like Social Security plus the retirement plan, maybe a 401k or a pension, but they don't have a lot of money, to just be sending 10, 20, 30,000 willy-nilly to people. My dad didn't have it. I mean, obviously he had it, but he really shouldn't have. He could have lived a lot better if he wasn't. And that's what worries me about other people out there. Because, I mean, it is a multi-billion, possibly multi-trillion-dollar business scamming the elderly and disabled. So I think I'll leave it off on that. I will probably be, like I said, I'd probably be doing a couple of videos on this because it's really a big deal. And we have to come up with some sort of a plan to help our loved ones, number one, not to get scammed, and number two, to be able to notice the signs when our loved ones are being scammed so that we can step in, get them the help they need, have an intervention. I probably should have had a much better intervention with my dad. I know that we did discuss it I thought in detail, but apparently we did not. So as one person who was second-hand, I guess, or third-hand taken in scams, I'm telling you, we gotta work on this. We gotta be diligent. We gotta come up with a plan on how to catch it when it happens. Know the signs, have a plan to intervene, whether that's seeking legal advice or going to taking your loved one to see a counselor. I think counseling might could have helped Dad because most of his problems just he was lonely. So, all right, have a great day, have a great week, and I'll see you back here next week. Enjoy.